I'm proud of these eyes, cause they see me through some hardship. Proud of those nights when I didn't think I'd make it. Ooh, even when they feel heavy, I'm proud of every part of me. Proud of these lungs for the way they kept me breathing. Proud of how my feet kept me running in the deep end. Ooh.
What's up, you guys? So today I'm going to be showing you how you can record yourself singing at home. Now, this video is going to be catered more to beginners. I know I have a lot of more intermediate and advanced content on this page, but I have been getting some questions about just getting started. So I'm going to try to explain this the best that I can. Obviously, a lot of the equipment and the plugins that I use are a little bit more catered towards advanced producers, but I'm going to try to show you guys the most budget-friendly options in this video, and I'm really excited, hopefully, to help some people who are just starting out and maybe a little bit intimidated about recording themselves to learn how to do it a little bit better. Obviously, this is such a process. I've been recording myself since like year 2005, I want to say, so close to 20 years at this point. But you can definitely get started, and I think technology these days is so good that a lot of budget-friendly options are pretty good. So without further ado, let's just get straight to it. Okay, so the first thing you need is a microphone. I have one right here. It is actually a really fantastic budget-friendly option for pop singers. This mic is probably $500 or so new. I have two of them. I bought mine both on eBay used for like $350 a piece, which is like a very affordable price for a microphone. I have recorded hundreds of songs on these microphones. I have many releases. I have recorded songs that have gotten millions and millions and millions of plays on these microphones that I bought for $350 a piece. So this mic especially, it's the Avantone CV12. It is known as like the Taylor Swift mic. So Nathan Chapman, who was the producer of Taylor's older country records, he used that on some of her first songs. She recorded on this mic. You can go ahead and go listen to it and see how good it sounds. So I strongly recommend it. Now, if you don't have about $350 to $500 on a mic, I also highly recommend the PX1 by PreSonus. I have recently tested out this mic, and I can attest to the fact that it is really good. In fact, if you want to watch me test it out and sing on it, I'm going to link a card for a video up here where you can watch me do that. That microphone is, I believe, about $120. I thought it sounded really good for recording a demo. So if you're on a bit of a tighter budget, I recommend that mic for sure. Okay, so the next thing you're going to need is a DAW. What is a DAW? It's a digital audio workstation, basically a program for you to record your vocals into. Now, this is Ableton 11. This is an amazing program that I use not just to record vocals, but to create instrumentals like the song that you heard a preview of. I didn't just sing that, I also produced it and wrote it. And using nothing but this program, I did everything in here. So it's extremely powerful. And if you ever decide to do more production, you can just stay here. You don't have to go anywhere else. Now, the only thing I would say about Ableton, it's a pretty pricey program. This one is $449, and this is the standard. I'm pretty sure for vocals, you will be completely fine with standard. The one I use has a lot of tools for producers, specifically for instrumental production. So I think you can definitely get away with this as a vocalist. I will give you some other options. However, PreSonus Studio One 5 is an incredible program for recording vocals. I actually use this program as well. We're going to be working in Ableton today, but you can, I'm going to link a video up here. You can watch this. This is me working in Studio One, recording vocals specifically. It is one of the best DAWs for this, and I highly recommend it. There's other programs like FL Studio and Logic. I will also show you guys another option, which I think is fantastic because I tried it out recently. So this is Luna. It's by Universal Audio. It's a pretty new DAW, and I recorded vocals specifically on it in this stream that I did with this company, Universal Audio. If you want to, you can check check it out. But the only thing about this program is that it has to be run on universal audio interfaces, which kind of leads me to my next point of what you need to have to record your own vocals. You need an interface. And I actually use what is on here on this screen. I use the Apollo X6, which is a more pricey interface, which I don't think you need when you're just starting out. Now, the Apollo Twin or the Aero are incredible options. You will get a very, very clean sound. They have great preamps. Basically, if you don't know what that is, that's okay. It's just something that helps process sound that you need. But the preamps in these are really, really good. It's definitely an investment to have this. So if you are not ready to go that deep yet, I recommend something like this. This is a very inexpensive interface. I've seen a lot of like beginners use, or even just songwriters, you know, where they don't really care about the recording quality as much. They just want it to be clean and clear. So of course, the final really important ingredient, probably the most important ingredient other than your voice, is your computer. So I will say I am on a very powerful custom built computer now. It has a lot of RAM, as you can see, 64 gigs of RAM. It has several hard drives built into it, so I can store my files very easily, never run out of storage. It really is helpful to have such a quick, fast machine. If you are not willing to do that yet, which I don't recommend doing that starting out before you kind of know what you're doing, I would just recommend going with a PC or a Mac that just has a little bit more RAM, because that is what's responsible for CPU, which I won't really need to explain to you guys. You don't need to know what that is. It's just the power of your DAW. You know, the less RAM you have, the less it's going to be able to process things. It's going to freeze. It's going to be slow. So if you do have a laptop that's a little bit on the faster side, that's great. If you have a desktop that's fast, that's even probably better. I mean, laptops are amazing these days. Most people work off of laptops. I personally like working on a desktop just because I'm in the studio. It's stationary. I don't have to, you know, turn it on and off and all of that stuff. But you just need a little bit more power than just kind of a regular browsing computer. But then again, also computers are getting a lot better these days, so I think anything that's more current, you're probably gonna be okay. So now what I want to do with you guys is just kind of walk you through how to do this here in Ableton. Don't be scared if you do end up buying another DAW, because they all really work in very, very similar ways. And what I'm gonna try to do here is to do things as simply as I can and use plugins, which, by the way, for those that don't know, there are programs within this program, right? They're gonna be other mini programs, so to say, like this one, for example, that have all these different functions. And I'm going to keep things really, really simple for you guys and try to use the things that are already built into Ableton. So without further ado, let's just get to recording. Okay, so as you guys can see, something is different. I have forgotten another essential aspect of vocal recording. So you need some soundproofing, right? Basically, to explain this for beginners, when you're in a normal room, like in your house, apartment, usually there's going to be a lot of vocal reflections, right? There's, you know, metal, there's wood, polished wood, there's stone, there's textures like that. So when you make noise, you speak or you sing, basically the sound waves of your voice travel around the place. They bounce off of surfaces, they come back to the mic, and you can hear it. So those nasties, those kind of reflections, is really what kind of makes a vocal sound not so professional. So if you can create any sort of dampening, basically make your surfaces less reflective and make them absorb sound instead, that's what you want to do. So these are made of foam. Basically what they are is they are just microphone stands. These pieces of foam are basically attached to these stands. You can take them in and out. But basically this is a really good solution for something like a home studio. These are from X. They're a little bit expensive. I'd say there's other options. You can even build something yourself. You can just kind of look up home studio dampening ideas and find some really interesting options. Now on to recording. So the first thing you want to do is obviously import whatever it is that you're singing to. I have this track right here, which is a track I've created, and I've just gone ahead and imported it in, so it's sitting right here. I've got some other stuff up here, but we don't need that right now. We're gonna kind of do everything cleanly. So the first thing you really want to do is just create a new track in Ableton. It's Apple T. I personally color code my vocals pink, so I'm gonna make it pink because otherwise I'm not gonna know what it is. And I'll make a couple of them because 2 or 3. The thing is, when you record vocals, you're not gonna sing the whole song through. I mean, maybe you'll want to do that, but I don't recommend that, especially if you're a newer singer, especially if you're a pop singer that's trying to get like a very deliberate performance. I recommend going section by section, and I'll show you guys what I mean with that. So the next thing you want to do is put on some autotune before you even sing, because I personally recommend this. So I've got my tuner here, and it is Autotune EFX. And I use another program for tuning called Melodyne as well, which you can watch a video of me using that right here. What you need to do is set the key of whatever your song is in, right? So I know the song is in D flat major. The next thing you need to look at is your retune speed. So 0 is T-Pain, 400 is nothing. That's the best way I can describe it. So what I would do then is basically try to record a line of this, sing this verse, and then I will show you guys what to do to make it sound a lot better than it just naturally does just going into the mic. Something you really want to do also before you start recording is put on the click. Sometimes you don't need it if a song has really strong drums, but this has no drums in this section, so I definitely need a click.
I walked through walls till my every bone felt the damage, and I knocked on doors till my hands grew brittle and bruised.
Okay, so I recorded this once. It was really rough in my opinion. I was just kind of getting my bearing, right? What is helpful about this though is that I can now select this take and I can hit Apple L, and what this will do is it will loop this section. And as I sing it over and over again, it's going to create takes of the section. And what this is basically you hit Option Command U on as you are selecting this track, and all of your takes pop down here. And you guys will, if you don't know what this means, you will see what this means as I sing this several more times. Okay, so I got some vocals here. I've gone ahead and kind of edited stuff. I'm gonna show you guys what I did, and then maybe I'll do just one more kind of like natural take so you can just watch it happen. But what I did is basically I've created my own vocal chain. And for those of you guys that don't know, so when you record vocals just directly in with nothing on it, well, I got a little bit of autotune, but other than that, they sound kind of like this.
I walked through walls till my every bone felt the damage, and I knocked on doors till my hands grew brittle and bruised.
You know, it's the vocal is good, but kind of the processing, the sound, it's really dull, it's quiet. You know, it's especially with the track.
And I knocked on doors till my hands grew brittle and bruised.
That doesn't sound good, you know? It sounds very like a really kind of little crappy demo. But have no fears. I'm going to show you how to make it sound more like a real demo, a real recording. So the first thing you want to do is you want to put in an EQ here. So EQ8 is something that comes with Ableton. You just go in here, you just look it up and drag it in. So, you know, all this is just, this is the frequency spectrum of like basically what people can hear, like humans can hear this about, you know, from 0 hertz to about 20,000 hertz. So really we're just playing with like the range of human hearing here. What the frequency range is, I'm just going to show you what to do with your vocal. So what you want to do, especially for a female pop vocal, you want to boost around the mid range, right? So you go around 800 hertz, around 1000 hertz, something along these lines. And you just grab one of these curves and you just drag it up. This is from T-Rex. I think it's fantastic. What a de-esser is for, it gets rid of harsh S's, like sh, like those kinds of sounds. You can find many different de-essers. I think the one from Waves is like, the R de-esser is like $30. It's really pretty affordable. So this is a compressor. It's literally a preset from Ableton. What you kind of want to play with is the output here is basically how loud it is. And then I put in another EQ. And this boosts a lot of the top end, and then I put in another EQ and it boosts even more of this high. Here's with
I walked through walls till my every bone felt the damage.
You know, right here I boosted around 8K.
Let every scar break my heart till I learn to bend it.
So I can just go ahead, gain it down, and make it a little bit.
Let every scar break my heart till I
What you kind of want to do is use buses. And I remember when I was like just starting out with this stuff, like 3 lifetimes ago, I was like, what is a bus? That sounds so funny. I was like a kid. And I think it's a great name because it's basically like takes the sound goes on a bus and it goes somewhere else. It goes to another station. I think it's really cute name for this. And basically they call them buses or sends. I like to call them buses. But basically you send it somewhere else. So it's really easy. You get to this mix window by pressing tab in Ableton, and I'm sending my vocal to A, which is reverb, and B, which is delay. And right here on A, I've tried a couple of different reverbs. As you can see, there's one that's muted that I didn't like. I also de-essed this channel. That was the first thing that I did because I didn't want like double S from the reverb and also from the lead. But I just use like a stock, vocal plate hall verb. You can really, like if you type in reverb in here, look at all these different presets. Some of them are for drums, not everything is for vocals, but you can kind of find interesting things. And I encourage you guys to, when you have your vocal, to kind of like go through these, maybe even play with these yourself. Size, decay, damping, all of these factors affect what your reverb sounds like. I chose this just as like kind of a simple, like not too complicated of a thing. Make it a longer little plate. It's a little quiet, just gives it a little like dimension.
let every scar break my heart till I learn to bend it.
It sounds, to me, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't love this. I would use more of like a third-party plugin, and if you want recommendations, just look at my other videos. There's some that I am like obsessed with and use on everything. But it's not bad. It's definitely better than dry. You know what I mean? And if you don't want to spend money on other things, like this is cool. It's fine. And then another thing you want is a quarter note delay. And you can literally just type in quarter note and it will come up and you just pop it in. And I would just make it fully wet. Basically what I did is I just dampened it right here, and then I used this plugin, which is third party, but it is free. That's why I feel no problem showing it to you guys. It's called Isotope Vinyl, and I just turned the gear down to 1930 and makes it sound like a little bit more aged. So altogether, when I enable this, it sounds like that.
And knocked on doors till my hands grew brittle and
play with
bruised.
volumes, let's say we want less.
Let every scar break my heart till I learn to bend it.
Just to kind of tell you guys a little bit more about this edit too. So yeah, I had these takes and I just went through and I picked the best kind of things in here that I thought I had. And what my decision is I really like the kind of the second half of what I did. I don't really love this first phrase, right? If you listen to it.
I walked through walls till my every bone felt the damage.
That bone is just, it's a little sharp, so I want to resync that, so I'm gonna do that.
I walked through walls till my every bone felt the damage. I walked through walls till my every bone felt the damage.
I think that's much better than what we had. So that's kind of like the basic way that you can record. I'll show you guys one more just little thing. So I will actually record just like a couple of harmonies for this.
Until I learn to bend it.
Right now I'm processing it through this. So these harmonies have the exact same kind of processing, but you can do something else. Like for example, you can just group these, and let's say we just want hybrid reverb, which is an Ableton reverb. And we just throw it on.
Bend it.
So you don't have to actually bust out to verbs. You can also put them on top of vocals. I just don't recommend that for a lead unless you kind of know what you're doing. If you're starting out, just bust them out.
Bend it.
That's kind of close.
Learn to bend it. Honest. I'm proud of these eyes, cause they see me through some hardship. Proud of those nights when I didn't think I'd make it. Ooh. Even when they feel heavy, I'm proud of every part of me.
So yeah, this is, I think, kind of like the most really beginner, really basic kind of way to just get your stuff to sound pretty good, get it to sound like a nice demo as opposed to something that was recorded on an iPhone. So, and of course, if you guys would like to kind of get deeper with vocal recording, I have linked through this video some cards to more advanced tutorials where you can just look through my uploads. There's a lot of ones that I've done on recording on Ableton. And yeah, I kind of I go a little bit deeper. There's also, I have paid tutorials on Gumroad, where I show you how to produce K-pop, where I show you how to produce kind of like a little bit more vocals, do melodyne, things like that, where if you're really just like wanting to go more to an advanced level, you can definitely do that. I link all that down below. But yeah, as far as this tutorial, I think this is a kind of an easy, fast way that you can just get started and record your vocals at home. All right, you guys, and that's pretty much it. That's the video on how you can record yourself sing at home. If you have any questions, put them down below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe and turn on your post notifications so you don't miss any videos from me. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.